upcoming domestic campaigns. Celtic have already started their competitive season in the Champions League qualifying round in midweek. It's a young-looking Celtic side. No Henrik Larsson, he's out because of a hamstring injury. And Magnus Hedman takes over in goal from Rob Douglas. As for Arsenal, no Patrick Vieira in the starting 11. He is on the bench, though, as he makes his way back to full fitness. Henri Pires and Will Tord aren't involved, as they played in the Confederations Cup in the summer. And Jens Lehmann, Arsenal's recent signing from Borussia Dortmund, starts in goal. Douglas MacDonald is our referee this afternoon on a very bright, sunny, warm afternoon in Glasgow. Brian Hamilton is alongside me, and Brian, this is quite a nice pre-season encounter, isn't it?
No, I think it's a fantastic encounter. Two big clubs, as you've said. Celtic, unbelievable season last season, just to get pipped on the league and to go the full distance into the final against Porto, and I thought they played fantastically well. It's always a big challenge. They've nothing to prove because they are an established team, very well respected, but when they play against a team from England, there's always that little bit of edge to it, and I think they'll see it today. The supporters expect, and I'm sure the Celtic players will be out to do very, very well.
So Celtic in the change colours, in the all dark colours, kicking from left to right. And I'll tell you what, Celtic Park is pretty full for this game, and it's a venue that's Celtic want to develop even further so that they can stage major European finals here. Arsenal would love such a stadium as this one.
Well, it's a fantastic atmosphere, as you quite rightly said, and the supporters are absolutely superb. They do get behind the team, and they make and enjoy the teams who come along here and play very attractive football.
Ball back there from Gilberto Silva. Here's Sol Campbell. Long ball down this left-hand side. And already it's a very fast pace to this friendly match. Both teams have been abroad in preparing for the new season. Celtic have been in America. Arsenal have been in Austria. Eddie Lundberg in with the challenge there for Arsenal. And the throw for Celtic will be taken by Jackie McNamara. Turned out wide by Mjällby. Sliding challenge coming in from Liam Miller, the man from the Republic of Ireland. There's Ray Parlour. Of course, big names missing, Brian, from this afternoon. Not only Henri, Pires, Bergkamp, etc. for Arsenal, but no Larsson or Chris Sutton or John Hartson for Celtic. This is the run from Jamie Smith on the far side for the home side. It just came off Kolo Touré's leg there.
Well, a fantastic run by young Smith. It'll do him good. The crowd right behind him, as we've said, and to get on the ball and do what he's very, very good at, get running at defenders, committing them, and hopefully getting in good crosses, and that'll be a threat from the Celtic team today.
Stilian Petrov looks for the ball back, appeals for a penalty kick. More from the crowd, it has to be said, than from Jamie Smith. But what is noticeable, Brian, is the very fast pace in these opening few minutes.
Well, they do play at a very high tempo, both these teams, and they'll expect to get the ball down. They'll try and dominate the early stages, and what is very, very evident, Celtic are pressing very, very high up the park, and certainly as soon as a yellow shirt gets the ball, there's a black shirt right at him, making him get his head down and trying to frustrate him. But Celtic, I think, have started quite well. Arsenal are really just sparring at the moment. They're getting their shape, and it'll be a festive few moments from Celtic, I'm sure.
Sean Maloney leading the Celtic attack this afternoon. This is Liam Miller looking possibly to line up a shot, and it's straight at Jens Lehmann.
No power, good accuracy, and certainly didn't give him the new Arsenal keeper much problem at all. But I thought he was actually going to hit it a little bit earlier on, because sometimes the one that's set too well, the keeper does get set, and then the chance goes away. Sometimes you hit it a little bit early, there's an element of surprise there.
This is Miller. Bit of space down this near side, but the ball would just run away from Sean Maloney, the 20-year-old striker.
Yeah, but he was just caught by Ashley Cole there. But actually, I do think Celtic have started much brighter, and they have, of course, had a game, as you say, this week, and they're pleased to be back on their home soil. And it's always, as I say, a big match when an English club plays against a Scottish club, particularly up in Scotland. I think more so the Celtic fans will really be wanting to prove a point. There is a lot of talk, and it's been said in many quarters that the league is really, the Scottish Premier League is about two clubs, and how would they compare if they played with teams down in the Premiership? And I've never any doubt. I think they've got fantastic squads. They've represented their country very well, and there would always be a challenge if they played in the Premiership, and certainly against any of the big Premiership clubs.
Well, Martin O'Neill in the build-up to this game said that if he wanted to play one of the top 5 sides in the world pre-season, this was one of them. Arsenal. Teasing free kick put in by Stephen Craney. Lundberg battling for it. Here's Craney again. Chance now for the shot, maybe from Stilian Petrov, and just scrambled away by the Cameroon international Lauren. The run now is made by Pennant. This is Jeffers, quickly closed down, and he's given it away, Francis Jeffers.
Good ball by Pennant, but as he ran, you can see the change of pace that he has. But while he was running, he got his head up and picked Jeffers out, and he didn't do very well, Francis Jeffers, on that occasion.
Jeffers, who was linked with a move to Birmingham City a few weeks ago. Strong challenge coming in on Sean Maloney.
I think it was a good challenge. He went in with 2 legs, were both split. I think there was only one leg caught the actual ball. I thought the referee was just a little bit harsh there. Ray Parlour, he's asking to know why, and I think it's quite a legitimate question.
Ray Parlour, who made his debut in the league for Arsenal, his only club back in the 91-92 season. Celtic asking all the questions at the moment. This is Smith, who's seen a lot of possession on that left-hand side.
Yeah, but he's a boy who has had quite a good season last season, and you can see he's confident on the ball. They want to give the ball out to him. They want him to run at players, and I think he has the cheek to do that.
Chase on here for Johan Mjällby, the Swedish international. Here's Hedman, who's very keen to start with a clean slate at Celtic. He joined from Coventry a year ago, was injured for a lot of last season. Rob Douglas played in the Champions League qualifier in midweek, but Hedman says he wants to claim the #1 spot, and healthy competition between Hedman and Douglas can only be good for Martin O'Neill.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any doubt now that big clubs who are going to compete at domestic level and also in Europe, they need a squad of players. And I don't think it's even opened the argument at all. You need 2 top quality goalkeepers who are going to push each other. It used to be, when the challenge came up, that you could have one goalkeeper and maybe one who wasn't just as good sitting on the bench. But I think at this top level now you need 2 top quality keepers.
Jens Lehmann there, the Arsenal goalkeeper, signed from Borussia Dortmund 8 days ago. He and Stuart Taylor played a half each against Besiktas in Arsenal's last friendly match. Lehmann, 33 years old. Good turn from Stilian Petrov. The run through into the middle, and a save from Lehmann to deny Maloney. It's a great stop as well. Celtic really powering through the Arsenal defence.
Should have scored. Great chance, good save. But it's all Celtic. They're really dominating the area they're playing in, and as I say, the reason they're doing that is they're pressing them so high, not giving them a chance to settle, and winning the ball, and certainly winning every second ball.
Well, I'm sure we'll see that save from Jens Lehmann in just a moment. Turn here from Gilberto Silva.
That's what Arsenal need to do now. They actually need to get the ball down and pass and play and try and get a little bit of possession. They've given it away far too cheaply, and you can see it's lifting Celtic and certainly not giving Arsenal making any favours at all.
Sam Campbell in with a strong challenge on Maloney. Parlour, and it's won again by Liam Miller. Maloney couldn't find a way through. Here's Silla. Looks to get his cross in. Ashley Cole makes the block.
They're really pumped up, Celtic, aren't they? You can tell by the way they've started the game. The crowd are fantastic. I mean, they are really behind them. They let them know that they expect and that they want the best from them. And the players have really responded. They've got on the ball, they've passed, they've played, they've done everything right. One or two little chances, and maybe should have been a goal up.
Mialby has come forward for this corner, which will be taken by Stephen Craney. Only short though. Now he might whip the cross in. It was towards Mialby. Parler just holds off Neil Lennon. That'll be an interesting tussle in midfield between Parler and Lennon.
Yeah, two good competitors, both want to get on the ball and want to pull the strings. Parler, I think, has been a terrific servant for Arsenal and played a lot of his football in the wider position. But from what you read and what you believe, he feels he's a better midfield player sitting in the heart of the midfield. And it'll be a good test for him today.
Forward by Ashley Cole. Might drop here to Jeffers. Chance for Lundberg. He was up against Bobo Balde. And Balde, the man who was sent off in the UEFA Cup final, puts it behind for the corner.
Yeah, lack of communication really between Jackie McNamara and Balde there. Both of them going for one ball. All you needed was a voice. One to go for it, one to drop off, kill the situation off. As it happened, they put themselves under pressure.
Corner hit long. And Headman came for it, but never got anywhere near the ball, the Celtic goalkeeper, and it was Sol Campbell who made the final touch.
He never really got above the ball, did he? But certainly the first real threat we've had from Arsenal. But looking at their squad, and obviously Henry missing and Vieira missing, and I think that they're two wonderful players. And really, when you look at the heart of the middle of the park, Vieira is I think the lungs, he is the spirit, and he is a leader. And they certainly will miss him today, of course.
Well, Celtic won 4-0 in the Champions League qualifying round in midweek in Lithuania. It was the second qualifying round of the Champions League. Offside. The goals came from Henrik Larsson before he went off injured, of course. Chris Sutton, Sean Maloney and Liam Miller. And it's all but assured Celtic's passage through to the next round. Of course, so important for clubs to be in the group stages of the Champions League.
Well, we need a Celtic in the Champions League, there's no doubt about that. They have a great reputation, the fans and the players, and what happened last year was a prelude to what they would like every year. So it is important they get through to the final stages and shows what they actually can do.
McNamara found there by Van Bronckhorst.
Well, just looking too long on the ball, and you would expect to be worried and closed down, and he was. And silly free kick to give away.
Ali Adier actually making the challenge. That's the free kick. Foul by Toure. He's playing in the centre of defence. Arsenal have high hopes for the Swiss defender Senderos, who joined from Servette in the summer. Oh, this is good play from Celtic. Roared on by the home supporters. Silla looks to take on Cole.
Ashley Cole's done well there defensively. You know, he stood his ground. Silla wanted to go down the outside of him, didn't allow him to go there, made him come back and then made the challenge.
Ali Adier. It's a good run and ball through to Jeffers. Across comes Mialby.
Good covering with the big centre back. Strong, competitive, kept his eye on the ball. And Jeffers really should have held on to it on that occasion, should have done better.
Well, there's an injury, as you can see. It's Jermaine Pennant who's down on the far side.
Interesting season for that young man as well, isn't it? You know, he wants to really establish himself in the side. Came on last year, made a few appearances, did ever so well, and has got a bag of talent.
Well, he's been out on loan at Watford for part of the last 2 seasons, and that will have been very much a learning experience for him.
It's all part of the curve, and we know he can play, we know he's got pace, we know he can play in the wide positions, he can score goals, so he's a valuable asset. So Arsene Wenger will be wanting to try and bring him through quicker, of course, but at the same time he'll monitor his progress and put him in at the right time.
Just 20 years old, Jermaine Pennant. A lot of fuss when Arsenal signed him from Notts County.
Well, when the big clubs now produce one or two younger players through their academy structure, they've got to wrap them up in cotton wool and look after them, because it's so difficult for them, because big clubs do go out to spend the millions to bring in the top quality world players, and that puts immense pressure on the academy youngsters.
Mjällby ghosts away from Jeffers. Pennant still receiving treatment on that far side. Arsenal then down to 10 men temporarily. Mjällby's gone forward. As we approach the quarter-hour mark, it's Celtic who have made by far the better start to this game.
Well, territorially they've certainly had the bigger percentage of play, and they've really squeezed Arsenal, haven't allowed them to settle, and that's just good play, simply good play. You don't let quality players get on the ball, get their head up and take time passing, and you can see that every time a yellow shirt gets the ball, the Celtic players are in and around them, challenging and making it so hard for them.
Maloney. Back comes Cole quickly and gets the ball, picked up here by Parla. Terrific ball down this left-hand side. Aladier on the chase. The young French striker.
Did well, showed a good turn of pace there to get in front of Baldy, but the big centre-back strength really saw him win out. He's a powerful looking man, isn't he?
You wouldn't really argue with him.
No, you would not.
Aladier.
I mean, I think we couldn't call it a friendly. It's a very competitive game. I think it's a terrific game before the season starts, because it lets you see, the coaches see exactly where their players are at mentally and physically, because they're playing against good opposition.
Well, Arsenal are staying in Scotland. They're playing another Scottish side, the champions, Rangers, in midweek.
Well,
what a preparation for the season. You play Celtic, then you play Rangers, then of course they've got the Community Shield next weekend against Manchester United. And here come Arsenal now with a great chance, and it's put wide by Francis Jeffers.
Yeah, but the build-up play, Ashley Cole heavily involved, 1-2s, and then a lovely pass down the side of the wall. Look at that, lovely. Got the ball there, looked up, and there he did. He measured down the left-hand side of the right-hand side of the central defender. And Francis Jeffers on that occasion did well to get a shot in, turned very quickly, and just spirited the ball to the wrong side of the post.
He started just 4 Premiership matches in the last 2 seasons, Francis Jeffers, because of injuries. Did make 14 appearances as a substitute last season, 2 in the starting 11, and in the league, of course. He's had so many injuries.
Well, he was a boy from a very young age, looked to be a marvellous talent, and I think nobody ever disputed that he could play and he could score goals, and he was, as they called him, the fox in the box. But he does need to play on a more consistent basis, and I think you've got it right. He needs to avoid injury. I never think Sol Campbell, we see him lining up there on the heart of the Arsenal defence on the left-hand side. I never think he looks just as comfortable as when he's playing on the right side. I know it's only a slight difference, but he just actually, for me, gets on the ball and wants to pass a simple ball, and he wants to bring it onto his right foot on a regular basis. And when you force him onto his left-hand side, well, he does that.
There's a strong challenge there from Ray Parla, who really is fired up for this game on Bobo Balde.
Well, the referee having a little quiet word with the Arsenal captain, but he is a very competitive player, and the ball was bouncing and you can't take anything away from him. He had to go for it. Maybe the studs were raised a little bit, but that's about all was wrong with that one.
One of the best goals I remember seeing anybody in an Arsenal shirt score was Ray Parler's against Valencia in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago, when they came from 1-0 down at home to win 2-1. Parler's goal, Arsenal's second on that night, a terrific 30-yard screamer.
Well, he's an Arsenal boy through and through. He's been with the club since his young days, and when you think of all the quality players, big experienced players, expensive players have come into the side, and he's held his own, he deserves credit.
Aladier. Here goes down under the challenge of his fellow Frenchman. Hedman with the clearance. Rather into no man's land, though.
Although Arsenal have slowly but surely got themselves into the game, they're starting to squeeze, press and pass the ball, and certainly getting into wide positions, and they look a formidable outfit at the minute, and certainly more comfortable from the early stages.
Parler. Cole.
Ray Parler's got a few friends in the audience now after one or two of those crunching tackles.
Campbell. Cole. Lundberg. Jeffers coming back almost to the centre circle to pick up possession for his side. Lauren. Pennant is back on the pitch. And it's a foul on the Cameroon international Lauren by Jamie Smith. He's another one who's looking to take his chance in the Celtic lineup this season. Jamie Smith, who made 13 appearances in the SPL last season, but 10 of those were as a substitute. Campbell. Aladier. That was good play from him. This is Lundberg. Toure.
I think that's the one part of Sol Campbell's game that we're just going to look and see if he can actually grow with that. We never questioned his ability as a defender. He's big and he's strong, powerful man, and a very good defender, but can he add that to his game, coming out with the ball and hitting the telling pass and being available when people are in trouble? I think that's the area that he needs to really move forward from on to become a real top quality player.
The last time these two sides met was to honour an Arsenal legend. It was Tony Adams' testimonial match at Highbury, and it ended 1-1. Toure. Campbell finds Cole. Gilberto Silva. Lauren. Loses out to Smith. Pennant comes back. Petrov. He's got Parler for company. Finds Silla. The man from Guinea, who couldn't find a way through.
Well, that's on a few occasions Silla's tried to run it. Ashley Cole is something you would ask wide players, and something with his pace and jinking ability to do, but he needs to have another trick. He's running at him, dropping the left shoulder, going down the right, and he's done that every time. And Ashley Cole, to his credit, hasn't bought it.
Mjällby. Balde. It's good play from Petrov. In from McNamara. It's more even now after Celtic's early domination of possession and play. Parler is beaten. Craney with a little ball forward. This is Smith up against Pennant.
Yeah, Pennant did well. They're doubling back. knows the threat of Smith and is helping out his full-back lot on.
No problem there for Stephen Craney on that run forward. He may require a little bit of treatment from the Celtic physio. Here's the incident again. 0-0 then between Celtic and Arsenal in this pre-season friendly here at Celtic Park. But a good lively pace, an interesting game. Jeffers loses out to Miller. Looks to set Maloney free on this right-hand side, but the flag up against young Sean Maloney.
Yeah, I think you've said it. It's very even, and after early dominance by Celtic, Arsenal have worked themselves into the game and really not creating enough chances. Too many balls coming off the front. Players are losing them out too easily, not strong enough. And if Arsenal are really going to make progress, they want to pass through the middle of the park, but certainly the front players in particular will have to show more physical strength in keeping the ball, mental as well, of course.
This is the third English Premiership side that Celtic have faced in their pre-season preparations. They beat Fulham, but then lost to Manchester United in a friendly match in Seattle in the United States. McNamara, across comes Campbell. Lundberg. Parla. Ali Adier up against Malby. Johan Mjalby times the tackle to perfection.
Well, Mjalby had to do well there. Ali Adier's first touch was majestic. He took it in his stride, he took it away. He's trying to use and basically keep his body in between the player and the ball. But Mjalby kept his eye on the ball, used his great strength, and that's what's lacking at the moment up front. Jeffers and his partner in crime up there just a little bit soft.
That was a lovely turn there from Momo Silla. And he's continued his run as well, the number 3.
Well, that was much better from him. He is a bright player and certainly wants to get forward, and him and Smith, Silla on the right, Smith on the left, they do pose a problem for defenders because they get at you and they want to take you on and they want to get crosses in. And I think that's what you always ask of forward players, particularly wide players. Ask questions of defenders, and they're certainly asking a few questions at the moment.
McNamara coming forward to take the throw in for Celtic. Silla has stayed forward. Here he is. McNamara was sold rather short there. Lundberg in with the challenge. Balde. Craney. Decent ball down that far side. Tidied up by Touré, but he's given it away. Straight to Stilian Petrov. Lennon. Craney. Maloney. Whistle's gone.
I think that's where Celtic will have to just be a little bit careful when they do get possession like that, and they do really try to play through the middle of the park, and the front players are not the biggest guys, but they're quick, elusive, and they try to ride on the shoulder of centre backs and get in behind them. They've just got to be careful. For Arsenal, play a very static, straight back 4 line, and then they try and push up, and they're catching the Celtic players offside once or twice.
One in the air by Mjalby. Pennant. Gilberto. Left by Lundberg. This is Jeffers. Gilberto. Cole caught in possession by 2 Celtic men. This is Silla. He's got Maloney to his right. Silla might go all the way. Just a word of apology to his teammate, who he may have used. Went for goal himself, though.
Yeah, he came on not as strong a side. No real power, no real accuracy. Body language told me that he wasn't going to really score, really hit the target with power. And that was a disappointment after a good run.
Lennon all the way back to his goalkeeper, Headman. And a little bit of pressure there from Jeffers.
Yeah, he's done very well. Actually, we expect goalkeepers now to be confident with the ball at their feet. On that occasion, Magnus Hedman did very, very well. The ball was bouncing, and he just had to deal with it very carefully. You know, we talk about Arsenal being without players, but when you take out the three players, the three strikers that Celtic could put in, and major threats, goal scorers, and also an option, John Hartson, big man up front, as also as Sutton, who they can actually hit with the ball, but they don't have that option on today.
Hartson still recovering from an injury. Celtic rather lose it. Jeffers, Gilberto. He's been a great signing, Gilberto Silva, since he joined Arsenal a year ago after the World Cup. He missed just 3 Premiership matches last season.
Well, you know, we look at the players coming in, and to play with Patrick Vieira in the middle of the park must be a fantastic asset, you know, and develop any player. And I do think that everybody who plays around him, he would help them and settle them in and make them better players.
Challenged by Loudon.
You know, he's done really, really well. I'm surprised me a little bit to go in that full-back position, because I always saw him at Real Mallorca as a wide player, you know, very aggressive, playing a bit like Silla is on the right-hand side for Celtic, quick in the ball, wants to get at people. But his defensive qualities have improved, well, almost game by game.
Celtic trying to find a way through the yellow-shirted Arsenal defence. The shot is saved by Jens Lehmann.
I think it actually got a deflection, you know. It seemed to, just as he came inside, his first touch, and he wanted to come in through. It was Petrov, wasn't it? And yeah, I think he didn't catch it properly, but it might have just caught a little deflection.
It's William Petrov, the Bulgarian international, denied there by the German international Lehmann.
Well, they're not a big side, Celtic, certainly up front and in the middle of the park, not really Jans by any means, but certainly Jans when they get on the ball. They want to be very committed and very confident and really prepared to run at people, which is a marvellous asset.
Chance for Arsenal, though, to work something from this set piece. Jermaine Pennant to take the free kick. Easily headed away. Parler. Harmlessly out for the goal kick.
Poor pass. Ray Parler usually very strong on that occasion, because Celtic were pressing out. Arsenal front players were trying to keep on side, and Ray Parler, when there's nothing on like that, it was a hard pass to try and pick out the wide player. Sometimes you've got to get back just to keep possession. It's not a bad ploy. You definitely want to go forward if you can, but if that's not on, then do the second best thing.
Balde. McNamara. Miller. Mialbi plays it wide to Craney. Challenge from Toure on Sean Maloney. The Ivory Coast man is penalised. Craney, Balde's come forward. He was maybe expecting a free kick to be put into the penalty area. Cole wins it. Ljungberg. Silla and Lennon are both there. Jeffers is down, and it all ends with Liam Miller with possession for Celtic.
Well, there's no prisoners been taken in the middle of the park. Great challenges getting very competitive, and something that both managers will want to see right throughout the season.
Petrov with the cross. If you didn't know that this was a friendly match, it would easily pass as a league or cup encounter.
Well, it's definitely not a friendly. There's no doubt about that. It's a pre-season match, and I suppose they've got them, put some title on it because it's not a competition. But it's too competitive because there's too much at stake. So much pride from both sets of supporters, players, and there's players out of the side. We've talked about Larsson, we've talked about Sutton, we've talked about Hartson, we've talked about Vieira, we've talked about Henry. So there's places to be played for as well.
Petrov battling for it. Referee again waves play on.
They're not the biggest side, we've said it once or twice, but they are Tigerish as Celtic players. They do get among you.
Parla is fouled.
He did very well, Ray Parla, there to get out of a very tight situation, and when he did get brought down, the referee quite rightly brought it back, and you could hear the Celtic supporters weren't too unhappy about that, because he has put in some fierce challenges, Ray Parla. Him more than anybody in the Arsenal side has turned this into a real competition match.
But we still await our first goal with just over 10 minutes to go until half-time. Lauren. Nice interplay on that right-hand side. This is Aledier. Just took it a touch too far, and Balde was across.
Yeah, it was a touch too far, but good play out in that wide position. Craney really bought it. Instead of following his man, he followed the ball and was caught in behind, and that's a good little pressure, good play by Arsenal.
Mjalby meets it. It'll be another corner. From this angle, from the high angle that we saw there, Brian, Mjalby looks just like Colin Hendrick.
He's a big man, fierce competitor, and he has to be today because, as I say, him and Balde really are the two biggest guys in this side, so set pieces, they're going to have to put their head on it.
Pennant with the corner. Cleared by Craney. Pennant kept it in.
Caught in the sun, I think.
Exactly it. Couldn't see it. You can see all the spectators behind Jermaine Pennant shielding their eyes.
It's funny, John, the number of pre-season matches, first games of the season you play, and the weather is absolutely glorious, and you just feel you should be on your holidays, but you're not going to be allowed to do that. It's a big competition starting, and both these clubs are going to be heavily involved in trying to win their own domestic premierships.
Pennant with another corner then for Arsenal. Campbell's forward. Cleared away by Silla. Celtic will look to break quickly. Infield by Miller. This is Petrov. Miller puts it wide. Craney's ball forward. This is Maloney. Smith. Just shielding the ball there from Gilberto. Lennon. McNamara. Great ball over the top. Oh, the flag's gone up. There was space on that far side for Smith. Unfortunately for him and for Celtic, he was in an offside position.
Yeah, Celtic have been remarkable actually with their pressing. Very, very fit side, very strong side, not the biggest side in the world, and it just proves you don't have to be a big guy to get among people's legs, people's feet, and make it uncomfortable for them. You can see them there closing down, squeezing down. Little Maloney there chasing all over the place. Cleared
away by Hedman.
Well, in the evidence of the game so far, I think there is, and we shouldn't be surprised. A strong argument for saying that Celtic are as good as the top Premiership sides, the top English Premiership sides, because they've really put on a very, very good performance and certainly don't look out of their depth in any shape or form.
Silla looking to turn. Lundberg with the foul. We haven't actually seen anything of the two managers, Arsene Wenger of Arsenal and Martin O'Neill of Celtic. You must know Martin O'Neill quite well.
Very well. Done a fabulous job. Every club he's been to, he's really improved them, and that's what you can only ask from a manager coach. And he has a good team about him, and he uses them very, very well. And certainly we were up in pre-season when Martin just took over, and it had been a difficult season for them with Rangers being so dominant, and he really turned it around. A marvellous job.
Clearance by Hedman. Torre with the header. Jeffers knocks it down to Lundberg. No time being allowed on the ball for Gilberto, and Silla brings it away for Celtic. This is Miller. The noise level just hasn't stopped from the Celtic fans. This is Craney.
Well, it's amazing the way the shape of the side is. You know, both teams almost playing like a 4-4-2. Neil Lennon just sitting in that little hole in front of his back two, and just being available to keep the ball moving, trying to get the ball forward very quickly to the Celtic forward players or wide to the Celtic players, and then asking them to run or turn or twist, and trying to disturb what is quite an experienced Arsenal back line.
Lehmann clears.
Big year for him as well. You know, to replace someone like David Seaman, hard task. He is a quality goalkeeper. He is an experienced goalkeeper, and well, he's got it all to do.
Signed just 8 days ago, Jens Lehmann from Borussia Dortmund. I think one or two were wondering whether Arsenal were indeed going to find a goalkeeper before the start of the season.
Well, it's very, very difficult when you've got a quality of player that Arsenal have got, that you've got to bring in a player who improves your squad. You can't bring in anybody of lesser quality, and there's not an abundance of players and goalkeepers certainly out there. And of course money plays a part as well, doesn't it? You know, it's well, I don't know, I was going to say it's going to come in a little bit more normal again, but certainly what has taken place in more recent weeks has changed all that.
Still plenty of talk of Thierry Henry being a target for Chelsea.
I think there's absolutely no doubt about that. I think if anybody wants the best and you're looking to improve your striking quality, then you've got to look at Henry. I think arguably one of the best strikers in the world today.
Another offside against Maloney.
Not a happy camper. Thinks he was onside there, but the assistant well placed.
That's twice in as many minutes that.
But as a coach, you know, I would say to him, just be careful. Sorry, I let you in, John. A little challenge.
McNamara with the ball back. Oh, Hedman had to be quick there, and was, as Jeffers put the challenge in.
No, I was going to say, as a coach, you would tell him, yeah, just be careful, don't get caught offside, but you'd want him hanging on the shoulder. And when he hangs on shoulders, he will be onside, offside. And he just needs that one time, that one occasion when he's right, he can win the game.
Cole with the short throw, gets it back. Certainly Celtic have high hopes for Sean Maloney. They also do for Craig Beattie, a 19-year-old striker who was the subject of a lot of interest from Tottenham in particular in the summer. Beattie's on the bench for this game. Petrov is fouled by Ray Parlour, who wins a few more friends.
Yeah, he needs to be careful, Ray, and I would imagine that somewhere along the line there's been a conversation that's taken place, you know, where the referee, if he feels that there's an infringement or it's happening too often, he's going to have to take action. He'll maybe just nod at the bench, and I think that's the way it should be in pre-season matches. It's competitive, they're getting their timing right, and you don't want to lose players early on in the season.
Celtic have probably had to install an extra few feet of bench for all their substitutes. Celtic have got 11 men on the bench, but here they have a great chance to open the scoring. Campbell, though, across with some terrific defending. Neil Lennon had made the run through.
Yes, nosebleed area for him. He doesn't get forward too often because he just likes to sit in the middle of the park. Nice, neat little passer. Crenny saw him. Neil Lennon made that run. And terrific defending, we've got to say. Campbell right across, strong, powerful, quick, read the situation expertly, and Neil Lennon just cut out.
As I say, Celtic have 11 substitutes, Arsenal have 8. Again, it's offside. This time, though, no complaints from Maloney.
Just from the crowd. And it's a little bit of frustration for them as well, but it's all part of the game, and it's a disciplined Arsenal back line. Pat Rice, I know, works very hard with them, and Arsene Wenger, a very astute coach as well. They will work a back line. You've got to be well organised, well drilled, and together, and that's the key. And certainly Arsenal are together today.
Toure. Pennant. Approaching the end then of the first 45 minutes, plus whatever stoppage time the referee is going to add.
Well, I think both coaches will be quite quietly pleased with the workout so far. Very competitive game, good play. Not maybe enough goalmouth incident and certainly goalmouth opportunities from either side. But both defences have been tested and stood the test of time. Middle of the park, very competitive. No quarter given. And overall, I think 0-0 about reflects the play.
Lots of poor clearance from Lehmann. Miller collected it. Gilberto still having a bit of trouble with his boots. Cole. Lundberg. Tidied up by McNamara. Well, I suspect, Brian, we will have one or two substitutes coming in for the start of the second half, but in a way I rather hope there isn't any.
Well, there will be changes, I'm sure, but you don't want too many. I think that's the important key, that it's done in moderation, because I think these players have really worked hard, particularly the Celtic players have really worked their socks off closing down, but there will be benefits to leave some players on.
Half-time then. It's been an entertaining first half. Not too many goal-scoring opportunities and no goals either. The best chance for Maloney of Celtic. And at half-time, it's Celtic 0, Arsenal 0. Welcome back to Celtic Park in Glasgow. The second half underway in this pre-season friendly match between Celtic and Arsenal. No goals in the first half on a lovely warm afternoon in this part of Scotland. And there's a change already. Bobby Petta is on for Celtic, the number 15, the Dutchman. And up to date with the changes. In just a moment or so time. Craney with the free kick though for Celtic. Picked up by Petta. Craney again with the ball in. Craney once more. Cleared by Parler. Edu is also on for Arsenal. Turn back towards goal by Didier Agat. And that's substitute on at half-time for Celtic. Here is Agat up against Giovanni van Bronckhorst. Another man who's come on at the break. So plenty of changes being made by Arsene Wenger and by Martin O'Neill for this second half. Both coaches looking to get a good performance out of their sides ahead of the domestic campaign starting for both of them. This is Miller. The back heel was looking for the run through there of Petter.
Well, I'll tell you what Celtic do have. They have players on both flanks who can catch pigeons, and it'll be interesting to see if they get the ball there. It'll be a real test for the Celtic defenders, because Petter I work with at Ipswich, and he is like lightning, and that Gat is exactly the same, quick.
Now here's a great chance for Arsenal. Out comes the goalkeeper, Magnus Hedman, and he was very quick off his line there.
Good job of the keeper. The starting position was terrific. He was about 7 yards, 8 yards off, and that ball was played back, poor back pass, and he had to be brilliant.
Petter goes past Ljungberg. Who could make a great impact on this game. Petter offside against Craney. Well, the second half has certainly started at the same pace that the first half ended.
I think Celtic have been quite phenomenal, really, because it's a very hot day, and they've really got about people and made it very difficult, and pace and energy and abundance, and they've really made it very hard for Arsenal to settle into a real plan of play and get their flowing football going. They just haven't been allowed to do it.
Problem for Ljungberg. Celtic start their SPL campaign away to Dunfermline next weekend. Henrik Larsson, who's missing this game because of a slight hamstring injury, should be fit for that. As for Arsenal, well, they start their Premiership season at home to Everton on Saturday the 16th of August. Here's Silla. Silla looks for the return ball from Agat. Agat, though, is beaten to it by Ashley Cole. Lennon with the throw. Finds Miller.
Only Lennon taking over the captain's band, which is quite interesting. And
Mjällby's off.
He'll enjoy that. He likes to chat. He likes to keep people playing. And he's now got the armband of the leader.
Stanislav Varga has come on at the heart of the Celtic defence. Towards Petrov. So just Sean Maloney up front for Celtic. Nice little turn from a gap.
Well, Ashley Cole's quick, but it was going to take everything he had in his locker to get past the guard on that occasion.
Carnew's on as well. Here's the new man at the back, Varga. This is a gap. Varga quickly closed down by Jeffers, who has this new striking partner in the second half in Carnew. Aladier then off. Maloney couldn't quite get there. It was Toure who did the defending. That's Loudon. Lehmann continuing in goal in midweek against Besiktas in their last friendly match. Arsene Wenger gave Lehmann and Stuart Taylor a half each in goal. Now the run forward is made by Petrov. couldn't quite win it. Forward by Lennon. Maloney. This is Miller. In came Bobby Petter. Lundberg with the challenge.
Well, it is fast, it is furious, and you look sometimes at players. We see here Bobby Petter's touch, lovely little ball through Freddie Lundberg's legs, and had his legs taken away. But you ask about first touch early on in the season, and some of the first touch has been terrific.
Just palmed away by Lehmann. And Bronkhorst being booed, of course, because he used to play across the other side of Glasgow for Rangers. And 3 seasons, in fact, to Ibrox before moving to Highbury.
Well, he'll be used to it. It's part of the policy that they like to let the opposition players who have played for other Rangers, Celtic, welcome them back to Glasgow in all kinds of ways. Actually, Lehmann's done okay, hasn't he? He really hasn't been called upon to make too many marvellous saves. One early on, he spread himself and did enough to kill the ball off. And then when he had to come for the cross there, he's fumbled it a little bit, but his second one was good. And overall, if it carries on the way it's going, he'll be not displeased. But I think it's important that he also plays as often as he can with the back four. It's all about relationship between a goalkeeper and a back four, and knowing each other's strengths, weaknesses, and getting to know names and so forth. So he'll be looking to play, I would think, the full game.
Turn is by Toure. This is Lundberg. Lennon battling away for it, so is Petter. Jeffers on the chase. And across came Bobo Balde.
Well, that's something Arsene Wenger will be looking for in the second half. Maybe more goal threat. That didn't take place in the first half, so he'll be asking his forward players, certainly his midfield players, to put in those passes that give the strikers opportunities.
Lundberg. Lauren. Parla turns it on to Edu. Gilberto having gone off. Cole with the ball across the penalty area towards Jeffers. So Mjauby, McNamara and Smith are off for Celtic. Petter, Agat and Varga are on. It's Aladier, Pennant and Gilberto Silva who are off for Arsenal, and Bronkhorst, Edu and Kanu are on. Little push there by Petrov. I missed it. Picked up by Ljungberg. Lennon though there for Celtic. Forward by Kanu, looking for the run of Van Bronckhorst.
It's amazing that the quality of Arsenal players, that they haven't been able to really get the ball down, pass and play and open up Celtic at all. But you've got to again pay tribute to the energy of the Celtic players and the enthusiasm.
Here's Sean Maloney. Petter. Lennon. Little flick on, great chance here for Celtic. And it's just crept in. Lehmann couldn't stop it. And the opening goal has come for the home side, to the delight of their supporters. Great turn and volley. Lehmann maybe slightly at fault. And Liam Miller, the man who scored it. Should the goalkeeper have stopped it though, Brian?
I think so. I think that Miller did ever so well. His chest control was terrific when the ball was played in. He kept the Arsenal player at bay. He never really caught it clean. They had just bounced in front of the keeper, but a look at him and he was almost going one way. Rather than standing his ground, he was trying to read the situation. He was a little bit off balance. He didn't get a solid hand to it. And I can't argue with the scoreline. I think that Celtic have done really, really well. Maybe not created as many chances as Martin O'Neill would like. Arsenal haven't created any. And the energy and enthusiasm of the Celtic team have warranted that extra little bit of an edge. They've got the goal. I think it might help them. And you just want to see how Arsenal are going to respond. Are they going to get the ball down? Are they going to pass and play? And are they going to become a goal-mouth threat?
Liam Miller, who scored in midweek in the Champions League second qualifying round victory against Kaunas of Lithuania, has scored the opening goal for Celtic in this pre-season friendly. And Arsenal about to make a change. It'll be their fourth change of the match. Pascal Sigan is coming on, and it was Touré who has gone off. Sigan, the French defender who joined a year ago from Lille after 7 years with the French club. I think it's fair to say, Brian, that he didn't enjoy the best of seasons last year.
Well, he certainly came in for some criticism, but I think it was tough. And when you think of the player that any centre-back at Arsenal is going to replace in the shape of Tony Adams, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And of course they went through a period of injuries and so forth. Martin Keown wasn't always fit, and they really needed his pace and experience there on the side, and it was hard for Sagan. But I think he's a decent quality player, maybe not the most classic of footballers, but a good defender.
Cole with the determination to go forward, but he was crowded out of it. 3 Celtic players around him, and here's the goal scorer, Miller. Sigan in with his first touch. So there as well, Patrick Vieira has come on for Arsenal, the number 4, just inside the penalty area. We didn't see that. Must have been just a moment ago. Vieira on his way back from a knee operation. Remember, his season towards the end last season was hampered by a knee problem.
Well, he's an immense player. And any team, the best team in the world, would miss him out of their side. I just think he's arguably one of the most complete midfield players there's about. And him coming back should give a little bit of steel to the Arsenal side, and maybe a little bit of creativity. They haven't really created anything at all. The confidence, even more confidence about the Celtic side than after that goal.
Yes, this is Petrov. Silla. A gap on the far side. Swings it in high. Arsenal able to clear.
I think I'd have been wanting more from my goalkeeper on that occasion. The ball wasn't, it wasn't a sweet, swift cross. It was a hanging one. And the keeper just stayed in his line. He let his centre half deal with it. It was dealt with, but I think I would ask more of the goalkeeper.
Arsenal break it. Kanu with the ball in field. Falls here to Jeffers. First time, and it was straight at Magnus Hedman.
I think that's their first shot in the game. I'm trying to remember the actual shots they've had in the game, and I think that might be the first shot. We couldn't really call it a shot. It was a clever ploy. I think he saw the keeper off his line. He tried to float it over his head, but poor execution. And I think Arsene Wenger will be a little bit concerned. Henry out of the side, of course you will miss that quality of player, but they've created nothing.
Now a chance maybe for Maloney to have a second for Celtic, this time straight at Lehmann from Sean Maloney.
Well, they've shaken Arsenal, they really have, and it's just their industry has done that. There's 3 guys, 6 foot plus. Little Maloney there, got the ball down. Keeper did quite well. It just hit the surface and jumped up on him. He kept his eye on it. No real power behind the shot, but Certainly Celtic asking all the questions at the moment.
Maloney had that chance in the first half, the best chance of the first half, when Lehmann pulled off a good one-handed save to deny him. This is Stanislav Varga. Chase on here, Sol Campbell. Silla's right there with him and wins it as well. Goalkeeper's completely stranded. And Arsenal will be relieved to get this ball away. It's a free kick to Celtic. Foul.
They're actually too lively for them up front. That's the problem they have. And they're getting in behind them and sprinting at them and making them twist and turn, making them make errors. And they're forcing Arsenal to get away with that.
Silla, who provided plenty of the problems there for the Arsenal defence, and now Celtic making some more changes. Ulrich Larsson, the defender, is coming on. There he is, number 16. '14 is Paul Lambert, the vastly experienced Celtic man, and Yusuf Harden is also coming on for the home side. So plenty of changes as Martin O'Neill looks to give most of his squad players a run out. The free kick is directly at Lehmann. Is it a good game, Sean Maloney?
No, I think the Celtic have worked really, really hard. They've been a very competent team, you know, and they've made it very difficult for Arsenal. Great test for Arsenal. They haven't been allowed to get the ball down and pass and play. They've had to compete, and they've had to work for any space that they've got.
Jeffers. And Bronkhorst. Parlat heads it up. It's towards Kanu. Celtic scramble it away. Laura. Edu. Finds Cole. Jeffers looking to spin and play it onto a potential strike partner, but nobody was there. Kanu out wide. Parla with the cross, and Varga with the header away.
Well, it's the best spell Arsenal have had in a while, and it's significant that Vieira has been involved in it all. I just think he changes his tempo of game. I think he changes his attitude. And the part that I'm a little bit disappointed is that's 2 or 3 occasions the ball has been played to strikers, Francis Jeffers in particular, and he needs to get a hold of the ball. He's losing it too easily.
Rolled short to Patrick Vieira. Little touch on. Jeffers unable to get there. Celtic able to clear. Not far though. To Parla. Vieira. Lowry. Parla.
Ray Parler's playing more on the right-hand side now. He's moved away, vacated the middle of the park, and in what has become a more normal position for him. And it'll be interesting to see if he can get his foot on the ball and really send in the crosses that will supply the chances.
Kanu. Parla. Cross was blocked. Interesting how Silla, the number 3 there, seems to have moved into a more central position up front alongside Maloney.
Well, I think what's happening now, Arsenal are very much a different side. Certainly since Vieira has come on, they're getting the ball down, they're passing, they're playing. There's an urgency about them that was lacking before. Well, they've just given the ball away cheaply there, but they are a slightly different team and playing slightly better.
Well, Lambert with the ball through, and the flag stayed down. Lehmann comes out and makes the tackle, and he had to tackle because it was slightly outside the penalty area.
Yeah, the Arsenal backline are not doing what they should be doing, and that was a good challenge by the keeper.
Vieira. Parla with the cross. This is Jeffers. So close. Arsenal's best chance of the game so far, but Celtic still leading this match by 1-0. Celtic Park really is buzzing. Celtic leading Arsenal by 1-0. courtesy of Liam Miller. But Arsenal with Patrick Vieira now on. We had their best chance of the match just a moment ago. Shot from Francis Jeffers just wide, and we could, Brian Hamilton, be in for a very interesting final 20 minutes or so of this match.
Well, I think it's been an interesting game, and I think both managers will be quietly pleased that the game has been of the standard. It's been a competitive edge that it's had. And I think now that Vieira's come on, I think Arsenal will play better. I think there'll be more of an attacking force. And in a quiet sort of way, Martin O'Neill will not be disappointed for it. Let him see where his defenders are. Let them have a taste of playing against this quality. And if the result stays as it is, well, he will be absolutely thrilled.
Edu with the ball forward that was lost. Lennon finds Miller.
Well, there's a little arrogance about Celtic as well now. That goal has inspired them a little bit, and they're keeping the ball. And they're giving it away just now, as you would expect when you say that, but at the same time passing the ball about with great authority.
Segan breaking it up, and here comes Parler, who's moved out to this wide right position for Arsenal. Infield to Kanu, looking to just lay it off to Van Bronckhorst. Lennon was there. Little slide ball down that left-hand side, pulled back towards Jeffers. Didn't quite fall for him. Kanu, that's a terrific block from Varga.
Wonderful challenge. Needed to make it. Kanu coming in. And better again from Arsenal.
Here comes Silla up against Campbell. Just listen to the noise. A gap. Maloney down in the area under the challenge from Segan. The protests and howls for a penalty were from the spectators.
Well, you're going to get that, but I've got to say the Arsenal backline have been tested. As you can see there, it's pure power and a little bit forcing it, but at the same time I think the referee got it right. But as you say, the players up front for Celtic have done a fabulous job today with their energy, and I think what they've done, they've really given everybody a spark and encouragement.
Jeffers looking to run at these Celtic defenders. No way past Varga, who joined Celtic from Sunderland. Agat. Oh, he's gone past Vieira. Didier Agat. Still looked to be offside there. Referee says play on. Parler. Kanu's got away from the defender. Kanu now bearing in on goal. Oh, he went for the pass. He might still scramble it in, and he has. A fortuitous goal from the Nigerian international, but Arsenal are level at 1-1.
Yeah, terrific bit of play by Kanu. Poor defending. The centre-back, he was right up against him, Larson, and what he had to do, if you can't get the ball, you've got to keep him goal side. He didn't do that, and then Kanu tried to square the ball a little bit forced, and it fell kindly for him. And he doesn't miss from 2 yards, but the error was made just 20 yards out, and Kanu has made them pay for it.
So Kanu with the equaliser, and Celtic's lead lasted for just 13 minutes.
Well, to be honest with you, I feel that Arsenal have really been a bit inspired, certainly since the goal when Vieira came on, and I think they look a more competent side now, definitely better purpose and more urgency, and as we've seen, 1 or 2 threats, goal-mouth threats, which I think lift the team and make the defenders of the other side look at themselves and ask what's happening. And we've had a couple of chances. Francis Jeffers had 1 or 2, and now Kanu has had 1, and he has put the ball in the back of the net. So it's nicely poised. It's a decent quality pre-season game, and certainly the crowd are enjoying it.
Agat has 2 defenders there. It came off Segan. Challenges by Lennon on Van Bronckhorst. This is Paul Lambert. In towards Maloney. Agat. Header was by Segan. Celtic corner.
Well, it's in the end stuff now, and as you can see and hear, the crowd are really enjoying it. Two very competitive sides, and I suppose overall Celtic certainly, I think, deserved a goal, but Arsenal deserved to come back into the game and warranted theirs as well.
Petr will take this corner. Didier Gat has gone for the short option. Petr instead swings it long. Lehmann this time with a confident, safe catch.
Brilliant catch. Came nice and early, made it his, and a good start as well. Nice and bright.
Kanu. Parla. Kanu's continuing his run and is onside. Now, can he pull it back? Finds Parla. Saw Kanu score a fantastic hat-trick at Chelsea a few seasons ago. Chelsea leading 2-0 with around 20 minutes to go. And Kanu scored 3 goals late on in the game, including one from an amazing tight angle to win the match.
Well, I think it's the title of the chief.
Oh, Van Bronckhorst. Chance for him, pulled it wide.
Big chance. Big chance. The crowd are absolutely delighted he's pulled that one wide, especially as he played for the other half of the city, and they've let him know since he's come onto the pitch. But he pulled it down very well. Again, slack defending by Celtic. And then when the opportunity came to put the ball, just hit the target with it. He didn't do it.
Maloney is off after a very productive afternoon. And here's the man I was talking about earlier on, Craig Beattie, who is coming on. And also on is Ross Wallace, who's a young 18-year-old winger for Celtic. So of their 11 substitutes, Martin O'Neill has now used 8 of them.
Well, it's no use having them on the bench. We're not going to use them. I think that's the policy today, and it is a hot day. And I'm sure Martin has told the players before the game, just do your job, do what you've got to do, get about people, make it very hard, give everything, and we'll spell you.
And there's another change. Rob Douglas is on for Magnus Hedman.
Hedman did well. He's got to be pleased. Very competent performance. Did what he had to do. No chance for the goal. And overall, he'll sleep well tonight.
Just mentioning that Kanu hat-trick at Chelsea for Arsenal a few seasons ago. Was that with you that day?
We were working
a broadcasting organisation.
We were working together, and he was magnificent. The third goal was, well, just something very special.
Vieira with a little ball wide towards Parla, who's got him behind Larsson.
Well, they're finding gaps now, aren't they? Which they didn't find the first half, certainly, and even in the early parts of the second half. But they've had 1 or 2 chances. They've taken the goal, and now all of a sudden, Celtic not looking as sure as they did early on.
Vieira. Parla with a little touch forward. He's gone for the return ball as well from Kanu.
That's just brilliant.
I think it just went out of play.
That is just sheer class and sheer arrogance. And I think he's commonly known as a chief. I think that's, and he certainly is performing like the top dog at the minute. He's made a significant change since he's come on. Vieira has definitely done that, but Kanu also has played his part and shown what a quality player he is.
Came off Ashley Cole. Again. Lambert. This is Petr. Lambert. Lennon's just behind him. Out instead wide to Didier Gat. He's quickly closed down. And Arsenal have it now with Kanu. Out wide to Parla. Kanu.
Arsenal a different side now, John. Really different side. They're finding more space, and I think the chasing about that Celtic have done, although they've brought on a lot of substitutes on, it's taken its toll a little bit. And when you do get a lot of changes, it does unsettle a side. I think you can introduce one or two players and it doesn't really change it so much. You introduce as many as Martin has done, then it will unsettle the team for a period of time, and you mightn't just see the fluency that was once there.
Edu wins it for Arsenal. Jeffers making a run down that far side. Put into touch though by Yusuf Harden. And more changes to be made. So Ashley Cole is the man who's going off. Is it me? Yes, it is.
Well, I don't think he wanted to come off. I think he was enjoying it, and obviously it went through the most difficult part for Arsenal in that first half. And the second half, I thought that certainly they've played much better in the last 10-15 minutes.
And the replacement for Arsenal is a very interesting proposition. Gaël Clichet, who is 17 years old. He's French and he's on trial with Arsenal from Cannes. Played in a pre-season friendly at Barnet a few weeks ago.
Well, there's been one or two decent players who've joined Arsenal from that part of the world, and if he lives up to the standard of one or two ahead of him, he'll be a very, very good player.
Personally, I'm a little disappointed not to have seen Philippe Senderos, the central defender, the Swiss youngster, because there's a lot of positive talk about him.
Still 12 minutes to play, John.
Oh, absolutely. Here's Jeffers. Kanu. Lennon wins it for Celtic. Oh, it's given away though. Larson with the challenge.
Yeah, Arsenal looking more polished now, don't they? They pass the ball better. There's more space for them.
Nothing comes of the Arsenal attack, and it's picked up by Agat. Oh, great play. Didier Agat. Vieira across to challenge.
Yeah, terrific imagination by Agat. He hadn't too many options on, and he had to do it all himself. Did it very well.
Into the last 10 minutes then. Celtic pressing forward, looking for a second. Cleared away by Clichet. Kanu. Just slide this ball out to Ray Parlour, and he's found him wonderfully. Parlour, well, just got his foot caught around the ball.
Yes, but again, Vieira and Kanu involved. Kanu's playing that lovely little role, very clever. He's not playing as a front player, he's dropping right off. Nobody's really picking him up, and when he gets the ball, he has a range of skills to use it. And he found Parlour there. Ray Parlour was disappointed with that first touch. Great chance to take it on, maybe even go one-on-one. And yeah, they must force him to stand on it.
Zigan. Kanu. Larson makes the challenge. Lauren with the throw. Parlour turns it over. Kanu's goal, the one that has put Arsenal back on level terms. Larson with the defending, and he did it well to deny Ray Parlour. Zigan with the header. Picked up by Beattie. It was foul. Mentioned earlier Craig Beattie, the 19-year-old striker. Tottenham very much interested in him over the summer, but Celtic have got him to commit to a new contract, as has Ross Wallace. Larson Vieira. A gap though. Vieira chasing back. Clichy. Able to put it into touch.
He looks a decent player, the young Frenchman, doesn't he? He's only been asked to do one or two things, but for such a young talent, very good.
Better. 3 Arsenal players around him. Agat with the cross. Sigan got the touch. Kanu. Remember Celtic without Hartson, Sutton and Larson up front today.
Yeah, it's very hard when you lose that kind of quality, and what they do give you, they give you a variation, as I said, because Larson, we know what he can do, but if you're in trouble, you just knock the ball up. John Hartson, one of the best strikers for holding the ball up, and Chris Sutton does exactly the same job. And there's a bit of an injury. I think he just went over his ankle as he went down. He seems to be okay.
Lambert. With the ball over the top down that right-hand side. Lehmann is there.
I think apart from the goal, he's done okay. I think it will take him a little bit of time. He is an experienced player, but it will take him a little time to come to terms with the new surroundings, new teammates and so forth. And I think overall today he can feel that he's done as well as he would have expected apart from that goal. But this guy here, I think, has changed it quite a bit. He's a real handful, Kanu, and as you say, we saw him, and he can be absolutely majestic and so skillful.
Clichy with the ball forward. Agat gets away from 2. Edu and Clichy. Van Bronckhorst. Lovely pass to Ray Parlour. It was inch perfect. Kanu. Ulrich Larsson looks a little suspect against Kanu.
Well, he's a decent quality player, and when he's on his game, he's a real handful. But it's a test for the Celtic players at the moment. Certainly the defenders.
So look, just losing possession for the home side. Offside against Francis Jeffers. Agat, this is a great run for Celtic. Needs somebody to pull it back to. The deflection took it into space, but there was nobody there.
Well, Agat, sometimes he amazes you. I'm not sure whether he knows what he's doing, but he's got fantastic pace, and that's a weapon.
Jeffers. Parlour. Vieira. Celtic will tidy up and clear.
Yeah, but good play. Patrick Vieira ran down the outside. He tried to pick Parlour out with a cross in. Just didn't get it right. But certainly the last half an hour has been much better from Arsenal.
It's a battle. Beattie, the striker, just 19 years old, up against Sol Campbell, and although he was giving away quite a bit in height and weight,
I think it was 6 2/3, that, to be honest with you. I think the referee really, I think he's kept good control of the game, and I think that's been important as well.
Well, let's face it, we don't want any silly bookings or sendings off which might rule people out of future matches which really matter. Remember, for Celtic, the SPL campaign starts next weekend. For Arsenal, the Premiership in a fortnight's time. Silla. Peta. Agat. Celtic supporters roaring their team on. They'd love to beat the English side. Good challenge, and out for a corner. It was Pascal Sigan who went across.
Well, it's certainly been an interesting time to score. I think it would be the clincher of anything. Anybody could score now. But I think an honourable draw would be about a fair reflection in the play. We're entering the last 2 or 3 minutes anyway. And I think overall, I think Celtic shaded the first half, certainly. I think second half they shaded the early stages. And then after the goal, I just felt that the introduction of Patrick Vieira and Canu, I think, changed Arsenal. They become a more competent side, more confident side, creating one or two chances. And I think overall both coaches will be very pleased with their players who've worked exceedingly hard on a very hot day, showing some good touches, certainly showing great energy and commitment, and a very good workout for both squads.
Well, by Segan. Ross Wallace to take the free kick. Made just one appearance in the CIS Cup last season for Celtic. Testing free kick. Lehmann got there. Whistle had gone though.
Under a little bit of pressure, but would have liked to have seen him taking it cleanly for sure. But I think his second reaction was very, very good. You know, he sort of stood, looked at it, and then he was straight on to it, and that would please Arsene Wenger.
Parler with a little header forward, looking for Jeffers. Seems to me that every pass out to Ray Parler on this near side is perfect.
Well, we've got some wonderful passers off the ball. Certainly Van Bronckhorst from the left to the right with that left foot of his is excellent, but it's nice to see the range of passing, but also to see the width that Arsenal give their players.
Just kept in by Clichy. Picked up here by Varga. Cleared away by Segan. So are we going to get a late goal, which would surely be the winner of this pre-season friendly match? Parler.
I think as we do enter the last minute now, it would be really unfair for any team to win it, because basically both sides have given everything, and well, here's a little chance now.
We wait for Edu to get past Varga.
And I do think it's been an honourable draw if it stays like this, because I think it has been, I wouldn't call it a friendly. It's been a pre-season game playing at immense pace with immense passion, and both sets of players wanting to win the game. So I do think it's been a real good exercise, and I think the supporters have enjoyed it. They certainly would have liked to see their team win, but they've seen a good game, and they've seen Celtic play against a very competent and strong Arsenal side.
Vieira. Two minutes of stoppage time to be played. Van Bronckhorst against Larsson. Fouled by the former Rangers player. Arsenal staying up in Scotland. They're going to play Rangers next in midweek at Ibrox for the Community Shield against Manchester United next weekend. Offside against Parler. As for Celtic, away to Dunfermline next weekend in their opening match in the SPL. This is Wallace. Clichy.
I think it's important for Celtic to get off to a good start because of the dominance of the big two. The early stages of the season, they can't afford really to lose any matches or any points, because all of a sudden they're playing catch-up, and that does become difficult. So the first game against Dunfermline, as you say, Martin O'Neill and his team, they'll want to get off to a great start and get 3 points in the bag very early on.
Well, this is going to end as a draw, as Lehmann clears it forward. Edu and Bronckhorst. And the referee does bring the match to a close. Both goals coming in the second half. Liam Miller, after 57 minutes, putting Celtic in front But 13 minutes later, that man there, Kanu, the Nigerian, bringing Arsenal level. Of good workout for both these sides, an entertaining game as well. It's ended 1-1. Hope you've enjoyed it. From Brian Hamilton and myself, John Roeder, bye for now.